Not get this message out, and it's been on my heart to talk about burnout and fatigue because so many people are feeling it and we're experiencing it in lots of different ways. Young people, old people, and they're just like, I'm so burned out. And then I'm always wondering, like, what do they mean when they say that? Or they're like, I'm so tired. And that at least has something concrete, and you can actually go, oh, I get that you feel tired. Um, but I'm even more curious about it for everyone because fatigue that makes you feel burned out has probably some very specific causalities or reasons or root causes. And that is of great interest to me. It is one of the areas in which I am doing a lot of work with people as a certified functional nutrition counselor and coach, is because they're looking for answers, or if you're looking for answers about how come I can't get untired. And it is a multi-layered question, it's a multi-layered answer, and there's probably a multi-layered approach to alleviate those layers of fatigue and burnout. So, just to set the record straight, what is burnout? Burnout is when you just feel like you have no more mojo. You just can't go. You are feeling flat. Maybe you are fighting through it, as so many professional, high powered women do. You're fighting through it, but at the end of the day, there's nothing left, that you have a loss of joy, or you have a loss of, like, you're just feeling flat and apathetic. Those are signs of burnout. And then oftentimes we look at fatigue and we're like, I'm just so tired. I can't get out of bed in the morning. I have no energy after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Um, I'm just tired all the time. Those, yeah, that's fatigue. That's probably on its way to burnout, or it's an affectation of burnout. Um, and by and large, though, they're states I'm I'm assuming you would rather not be enjoying, if I'm not correct. So, what do you do? How do you deal with it? And that's where you would hopefully reach out to your doctor. You would reach out to your spiritual guide. You might reach out to work out some more. You might reach out to a nutrition coach like myself. Reach out. Number one, suffering in silence, it's serving no one, and you are depriving your community and your world of your best you. So getting help, a number one. And things to look for, like when you go and you're like, well, I need help and I don't know where to look. And let's look at your body as this entity that has, I like to say, 5 layers to it. One, first and foremost, you can identify and you recognize that you have this physical body, right? You have a physical body. The bodies that we don't talk so much about in our Western way of dealing with things is our emotional body, our spiritual body, and our mental body makes up this greater collective, which we are energetically, is we're just energy. And there's energy. You see how we're tying energy into this? Energy at all of these levels. So there's really 5 levels if you count, if you add up all the 4 that I just mentioned and add it to this one other category called energy. So we are energy. And we are energy from the moment we are conceived to the moment we transcend into a different realm of energy. But, nonetheless, there's always energy involved in who we are. Now, if there are interruptions in any of those 4 ones that you can actually visualize, like you can see your physical one, and most people really spend a lot of time on this physical body and looking for ways to put energy in it, or looking for the reasons how come there's no energy available to it. And there are lots of reasons for that. There are lots of reasons for your energy to ebb and be less than, and they have to do with what's in your environment physically. What's surrounding you, what are you eating, how are you putting energy in the form of nutrients, and then what is absorbed through your skin, like in your environment for toxin, things like that. All of those things can detract from your physical energy and make you what? Tired. And if repeated exposure to that, then you could end up feeling so fatigued that you would then say, I'm burned out. The same thing applies to your emotional energy. What are you doing to fill that up? What are you doing to bring joy, light, and love into your emotional life? And so if those things are absent and or less than optimal, you of course would then feel again an emotional fatigue that can lead to burnout or extreme fatigue. Now, when energy is not in the mental space, a lot of us feel like, oh, our brains are foggy, or what else do we feel? Can't think straight, we can't focus. Again, that's the energetics of your mind somehow being handicapped to be less than optimal. And then there's the spiritual sense that really flows through you. It's like, how do you feel your passions? How do you feel your purpose? How are you attaching to your understanding of how you fit into this thing called life? And there's, I like to say, if you're experiencing existential angst, many of us are right now, so there's no judgment on any of these levels. There's a lot of things that are detracting from us having fullness in all four of those levels, and thereby we can't be in our totality, this full energy body. And then we wonder why we're tired. We wonder why we're fatigued. So an investigation of how you're operating on all four of those levels to, amplify what you're going to be in this fifth level, your whole energetics, is how you get to the root of it. I know that's like a mouthful, and you're like, oh my God, Andrea, who has time for that? And my question is going to be, who has time to ignore it? Because when we ignore the feelings of less than in each of those energy bodies that I just mentioned, that's when disease has the ability to come into your life. This is when disease, gets to be beyond an ache or a pain. It becomes a full-fledged issue. And so I am currently, change of life, kids are growing up, really committed to helping people answer that question for themselves, really figure out how to put fullness back into those four levels of their body experience in their wholeness. And so I am going to be talking about this a lot the next 4, 5, 6 weeks, because I'm having this challenge. You probably have seen it. It's called Stop Surviving and Start Thriving. It's a 5-day challenge where I talk exactly about this. And so if this interests you, I would encourage you to really follow me. Come on over and follow along as we really sort of start to explore these energetic levels that exist within the body and what we can do to amplify them and make them whole so as to prevent a full-blown disease. I like to say, let's get rid of the diseases in our four levels of our body before we have an actual profound, somehow intractable disease, right? Anyway, I had this on my heart to talk about. I am really excited for July and this challenge that I'm going to be having. But I wanted to give some context to, there are answers for burnout. There are answers for fatigue. You get to figure out where they are iterating from, and you then get to fix them. And I would love to help you do that. So join me this week here, either on my personal channel or I'll put it on my Wellbeing and Worth page, some sort of tidbits and information about how we can fix our energy. And I hope you join me along in this adventure. And if you know people who are questioning their energy or need more help with energy, follow along, invite them to come like it. I would really appreciate it. And until July, when this group opens and we do that, everybody stay tuned. We've got a lot to talk about, and I hope you join me. Okay, take care now. Have a wonderful Saturday. See you later. Bye.